Hey guys, what's up? See if anybody comes in here. Juan, what's up? I doubt we'll have the numbers we had a couple of days ago. That's all right. I do this for fun, not for numbers. Get some people in here. We'll say our hellos, and then we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Well, almost everything. All right, we got Juan, Light Bright, Food Mooch, Highway Surfer Dave, Jonathan Wheeler, Jim Jarena, Kevin and Ollie, Next Gen, TJ, Scott, SRO Logistics, Big Road Little Truck, Recon Trucker, Salty Pirate, Highway Surfer Dave, already read you, Josh Harpool, it's me, Gary, Nothing Witty, Nick Brashears, what's up? Gear Grabber, how's it going, sir? We are doing our Sunday version of this because last night I didn't feel like going live. So thought we'd go live tonight, talk about whatever you guys wanted to talk about. I guess TJ called me out on the D-Raj challenge, which I had to look that up. And we'll see what happens, TJ. I usually try to speak pretty good about YouTubers in general. So let's see. Road Racer, what's up? TJ, it might take me a couple of days to decide how I want to do it. Might just be a quick minute long thing like you do. I tend to not give into the YouTube trends. And I'm not saying that that's what that is, but I think it's a positive thing that's about. But I try to be positive anyways, so probably no harm in doing it. You called Harold out on the one chip challenge. Gear Grabber. Yeah, it would be easy, TJ. So I'll probably do it. Just to be in the spirit. I don't want to look like that guy. John Horan, how's it going? Oh, Dave, I appreciate the kind words. USD Paul, looking at getting an APU. Which one would you recommend? I would recommend the Carrier Comfort Pro. Number one, they run a little bit cheaper than Thermo King, and I've had, knock on wood, no issues with mine. Did have a clogged fuel filter once. Got that changed. It was fine. It's been throwing the breaker here lately on the HVAC system, but I think that's I just might have need a new breaker. But other than that, I've had 8 trucks with Thermo Kings, and I thoroughly enjoy the Carrier. Oh, no. And with the Carrier, you don't need to buy an inverter or a bunk heater.
Wait, what?
Last 6 days, miles I drove was. Oh man, you guys are chatting. You guys are chatting it up here. Last 6 days, miles I drove 582, 448, 608. That's a good number there, Jim. That keeps you in that 8.5 hour a day range that you don't have to worry about your 70. Thomas, everything's well. Everything's well. Big Road Little Truck. I don't know you. Apologies, sir. I got a little honked on your last live feed as someone dropped a curse word in your chat. I apologize for that. Apology accepted, Big Road. I understand. A lot of emotions were running tight, and I never saw it, but apparently one of the YouTubers that I did not make happy went and bashed me on his channel. On his channel, but Ike and Thor went to bat for me, and I appreciate that, guys. I never saw the video because it was taken down. You gonna start a smell good challenge next gen? That'd be a good one. Man, you guys are chatting it up. You have a good following, so I thought it would help get the positive thing out there, help offset the prior negative stuff. TJ, you put it like that, I'll do it. It just may not be until I get back in the truck, so a couple of days maybe.
Wait, what? Does she know everyone?
Jason Perry, what's up? Jonathan Wheeler, I think I already said hey to you. Did you miss the party? No party here, man. My family's watching the funny show, so it's good to hear your family laugh, right? Does carrier put out pure sine electricity? Yes. Well, I don't know much about that, but I know it's a better energy than electricity than the Thermo King. So it's basically the way the carrier is. It's like having a home generator on your truck. It's got a lot more wattage to it too, so volts or whatever, and I like it a lot better. So
why 16?
Nah, Harold, they're watching a funny show. Juan Avalos, what do you think about the Nike thing? Hey, Big Rich, what's up? I know a lot of veterans that basically say that Kaepernick can do what he wants. He has the freedom to do that. So I don't really take offense to his whole knee thing because it's freedom of speech. Now, the advertisement that shows Kaepernick is actually not that bad of an ad. It's more or less talking about the underdog. Okay. Now, the thing that I find amusing is that people are burning their Nike stuff. You've already bought it, you've already paid for it, and then you're going to burn it. That doesn't say anything. But the reality is Nike is a large corporation that manufactures their stuff in China, and they're getting a lot of free press right now. They're getting a lot of free advertising right now. So take that as you will. See, whenever you talk good or bad about something and make it trend, that's what people go for now. That's what people do. So it amuses me. It doesn't make me passionate about anything. And yeah, so that's my opinion on that. Man, you guys are commenting quite a bit. 62 people in here. I appreciate it, guys. Let's see here. You got Randy Spears in here, Larry June. Big Yeti, what's up? Cousin It, haven't seen you in a minute. James Coker, nice meeting you at GATS. Logic Neo, nothing but drama. Jerry Springer on YouTube. Now, I thought it was interesting what Cannell did with his channel, and 404 Dave is being called out because people think that he might be lying. So that's a mess that's going to get uglier, I believe. Yeah, Recon Trucker, I agree. It's an inspirational commercial. So they 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 knew that the world was going to be watching that commercial, and it's not insulting or anti-American. I believe, Mike Stevens just went live. So now, what's interesting is Big Rich. He said that my last live feed, when I started talking about rates, watch the numbers drop, and it did. I thought that was you hit the nail on the head there, Big Rich. Right, Big Rich. He says, I agree. Burning clothes and shoes to make a point when they're homeless citizens and vets. Absolutely love it. Right. And that's what I said on Twitter, I believe. It's like, There you go. Nothing witty's got the right idea right there. And TJ Jones, I don't think he is either because he looked extremely stressed out this morning. And that's exactly why I didn't want to like be a part of that, because obviously, in my opinion, you know, I know Dave, I've talked to him on the phone several times, you know, we hung out a little bit at Gats, and he was genuinely stressed out. He's genuinely upset, you know. And to add the stress of being an owner operator, a team driver on a new company like Jarhead Transportation, dealing with the spot market for the first time, dealing with bills, and then you had the out of service violation. There's a lot on his plate. And to add this stress, you know, I feel bad for the dude. I really do. Larry June, rates suck. I agree. Nah, TJ, it's all right. Ike does his own thing, so. Big Rich says rates are coming back up. Got $1,625 on a $1,400 link. Cool. Now, if you guys follow FreightWaves, did you see that article, Big Rich? FreightWaves says that this has the potential to make the spot market go through the roof. And what I'm talking about is the Hurricane Florence. And the reason being is because the area it's supposed to be hitting is a high container port entry. So it's fixing to be name our price, because depending on what happens down there, I mean, the brokers are already prepared. They're already looking for FEMA trucks. So I think that what that's going to do is, even if you're not doing FEMA loads, it's going to create a vacuum. And then it's going to be like last year at this time, where you can name your own rates. So, yeah. So you saw that article there, Big Rich, right? There are two more hurricanes behind Florence, right? And there's no telling. Kevin, you can undo that if it was an accident. Here, yeah. See, by the time I click on it, no, it's not going to let me do it. So you can undo that, Kevin. Well, not the timed out. So Larry June, if you're watching, you're just timed out. It was by accident. So you'll be all right. He'll come back. I hear you nailed it. I hear you. He knows how I am. I try to, like I said, I try to stay out of things, and that's because I don't need that kind of stress, you know. Don Cheek, what is FreightWaves? I'm lost on that. It is kind of like an online trucker magazine that talks about rates and freight trends for trucking. A lot of good information, and it could be a good read. It's an industry news site. That's you know, Big Road. You're welcome, trucker hypocrite buster. I am. I just, what you see is what you get. So. But so it'll be interesting to see what happens at the end of the week. So rates are coming up, which I was hoping, because Friday they were not good at all. So I decided to go home and just start fresh tomorrow morning. Zane says my company deals with disaster emergency response. I don't wish ill on anyone, but it would keep me busy. There's a broker on the Rate Per Mile Masters page that is being advertised. You're looking at a possible 3-month drop and hook kind of rate. I don't recommend doing that, especially now. See, here's the thing, guys. A lot of brokers are going to try to book that FEMA load stuff now because a week from now, they're not going to have any leverage. It'll be like name your price. So if they book it now, then they've got a little bit of leverage. So you might get down there at like maybe $500 a day, and then everybody around you, because they waited, is getting $1,000 a day. And that's generally what happens with FEMA loads is you pick up a load, say water or building materials, and you become a rolling warehouse. They stage you at an airport or an open field or a truck stop, and then you get paid to sit. One of the negative aspects of that is that if you're there for a month, you're not getting paid till the end of the month. You know, you're not getting paid until that load is done. So, so the thing that will happen with the non-FEMA drivers is that it'll create this vacuum, and we'll be able to name our own rates pretty much. You got 3 states calling states of emergency on 1 hurricane. That will be a Category 4 the day before it makes landfall. We're getting closer and closer to the holiday season. Right. It's a case of the perfect storm, if you will. So, hey, Lee, what's up? Dennis Smith, how's it going? It was good meeting you at GATS. I hear you, trucker hypocrite buster. But you can't control truck drivers, right? Let's see. Capacity is about to get really tight and equipment specific. Reefer will be rolling with their holiday freight, so dry vans will see an increase in volume. Let's see. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, what the load board looks like. Maybe I won't get out till Tuesday, but I plan on working straight through September if the rates are going to go through the roof. Firebird, we're talking about boring stuff like trucking and rates and stuff like that. This is sad. We're on here like a mobster gang waiting to strike. Well, guys, you look at it this way: truck driving, we are the bloodline of the country, and the country is going to need help. You know, just like a wound, all the blood has to go there and do its healing. So that's how it's going to run. Don't be afraid to jump from $1.80 to $3. They didn't hesitate dropping the rates way down. I hear you, Big Rich. Rates are not boring, Logic Neo. I don't know. I digress, man. I disagree, Logic Neo. Big Rich called it was it Friday night when I went live and basically said my piece about the whole issue that was at hand. And and Big Rich said, you know, I had 150 people in here, and Rich said, once you start talking about rates, watch it all drop. And sure enough, it did. So you're just a clot in the interstate, Dennis. I do heavy haul. I love me some state emergency permits, hours of service, and such. Right. And a lot of that FEMA stuff, man, you throw your hours of service out the window. So Big Road says, I hoping to see Jeff in an Anthem, but it looks like he got a killer deal on International. Man, Big Road, it's a nice truck. I saw a picture of it, and it's beautiful color. And Jeff, you know how Jeff is, man. He's not just going to get some ordinary Pro Star with like 500,000 miles out of the lot, man. He got something special with that truck. So he got a good deal. I agree with you, Big Rich. I think a lot of people in our position, such as me, Harold, Roscoe, Big Rich, Recon Trucker, you know, TJ, is that we're working off the spot market So we've got a little bit more control over that. If you work for a company, say like Prime, where you get percentage, then the rate thing is interesting to you too, because you'll get a higher percentage of, or a percentage of higher rates. So Gear Grabber says Jeff got a once in a lifetime deal. He did, and that's Jeff's talent right there. I mean, he wasn't, when he goes truck shopping, I knew that he was going to find some ridiculous, spectacular, like makes you go, there it is. So but Dave says you got a little place in Columbus. How much property do you own, Dave? You got property here? You still own property here in good old Springfield? Big Rich, someone told me that one of them brought my name up. I'm not worried over big dogs, so don't get me confused. 4 places. Matthew B., I'm looking to move up to Missouri and looking for land up there. Matthew, land and property is fairly cheap along I-44 between Joplin and Rolla. As you get close to St. Louis, it's a little bit higher. As far as freight goes, Missouri is an excellent state for freight. Kansas City market doesn't pay as well as, say, the St. Louis market. But a guy with a beer permit can make a lot of money coming out of St. Louis. So a lot of property that you can park a tractor trailer in, too. I believe we got the internationals, too. Don Cheek, I'll let Jeff answer that. I mean, I'm not sure how much he wants out there, but he still has his leach truck. You have 1 in Columbia, South Carolina, 2 in Louisiana, 1 in Springfield. Oh, okay. It's the military life. I hear you. Well, that's why I lived in Hawaii at one time, because my dad was a Marine. Anthony T., what's up? Since when do we need beer permits? Is that a Missouri thing? I'm not 100% sure. Now, what a friend of mine told me, who's the safety director for a small company, he said that you don't need a beer permit if you're going from Missouri to Missouri. If you're picking up on the Illinois side, you have to have a permit. Now, Missouri separates beer from what they call intoxicating alcohol. You need a special permit for that. So if I pick up a load of beer, I'm okay. But if I pick up a load of, say, rum, I'm not. So Big Rich looking to buy property in the Smoky Mountains, Tennessee side. Anthony, you're hanging out in the hotel in Little Rock. What's wrong? Is your truck messed up? I gotta stack some paper because my truck's due for a truck issue. What my dad did, I'm not sure which base he was on. We lived on Oahu, and he was a weather forecaster for the Marines. So if there was a mission they had to do, it was up to him to tell them what the weather was going to be doing. So, oh wait, dude, did you get a new truck, Anthony? So we'll see what the load boards look like tomorrow morning. I'm generally not a fan of trying to look for something early Monday morning. Might be playing the 12 o'clock shuffle. And, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Big Rig CEO. Guys, I want to thank you for subscribing to Big Rig CEO. If you haven't checked out his channel, go check it out. He's a Snyder guy, so for you Snyder owner operators, he's got some good tips. If you're looking to be a Snyder owner operator, he's got some good tips, and he'll give you his email if you need to contact him. So I believe there was someone in my life feed the other day that was upset because all the Snyder people he was following has gone on to the spot market. And I mentioned Big Rig CEO and Steve Berger. They're still holding the flags for the Snyder guys. It's fun watching people drive around the truck stop. Says Next Gen. I'll tell you a funny story. So I was in Cuba, Missouri, right? And I did my pre-trip, but I wanted to use the bathroom. So it was raining. I didn't want to get soaked. So I put my truck in the drive. I put it in third gear, and so I'm just creeping along. Well, this other truck was doing the same thing on the opposite way, and we just kind of looked at each other, and then he like hollered on the CB and said 3 miles an hour, and we just kind of nodded, like we both knew what we were doing. It's kind of funny. And so you either got people going super fast in the truck stop parking lot or super, super slow because they don't want to go above 3 miles an hour. Matthew B., some of us really appreciate what you and the guys at Like Trucking do, period, for us out here, giving us the information. Well, we appreciate it, Matthew. I do it for you guys, and I do it because I'm a narcissist that loves to talk to a camera. So already talked to Jeffrey. He told me to give him a ring when I pay my truck off at Central Hauling. There you go, Anthony. Well, I appreciate the kind words, guys. I appreciate that. So, but Harold did a good live feed earlier. I missed part of it. So he talked about the passing of Burt Reynolds. And I've been seeing a lot of really good, tasteful stuff on Facebook in regards to Burt Reynolds. There was some kind of tribute in Europe because there was a bunch of, what's that brand, Scania trucks, but somebody drove through with the Trans Am and the Snowman truck. So obviously there's some fans over there in Europe. It was a pretty cool tribute, and I imagine there's probably going to be some kind of tribute or respect or something at GBATS this year because there was last year. Big Rig CEO, prepping for my Arizona run, still no backhaul. He's doing one of the infamous Casa Grande runs there, Mr. Perry. I never did one of those. I know that I got a friend of mine that does them all the time. And I know Ike Stevens, he did a couple of vlogs where he'd go out there every now and then to break up the monotony or whenever freight wasn't happening in Texas when he was with Snyder. And, I would go out there more if the rates were good coming back. And you definitely don't want to be hanging out in California, in my opinion, because of all the fires and stuff. You never know. Dave says, Zane, we've been here almost 3 years and either headed to Branson or Columbia, South Carolina to jump back in the trucking owner-operator style. They just recently revamped the Trans Am and the style of smoking the band. Right, Anthony. Burt Reynolds was signing a few of those. And what that is that's that company that takes the Camaros, turns them into Firebirds or Trans Ams. The money is tempting for those West Coast runs, right? Big Rich, I don't know the area real well. I mean, I know 40 pretty good between Arizona and Arkansas, but um, it brings back a lot of good memories because when we lived in Phoenix, that was the majority of the time I rode with my dad. We'd get produce out of Yuma or Chandler or somewhere in California, and then take it back all the way up to New York City, up to Hunts Point. And of course, you take 40 all the way down, unless it was winter, and then my dad would take, you know, 10 to 20 to 30 to 40. So I have family in Arizona, but like I said, the last time I was in Arizona was when I was with Landstar, and I took a load I think from Utah to Arizona because I took a load from Laredo to Boise, and then from Phoenix, I delivered in Phoenix. Did a video with Trucker Steve real quick. It's somewhere out there, and then deadheaded to Tucson to get a load going to Dallas, I believe. And then I was good. So I love the 10 run all the way to Phoenix. I hear you, Big Rich. I hear you. Too much money in the short game, says Gear Driver. I agree. And that's one of the things Jeff pointed out when I first started was, it's when you're only doing 200 or 300 miles a day and you can make the same amount of money versus doing 2 days of hard long running. You're going to burn more fuel, and not to mention if the truck breaks down, if you're only within 500 miles of your house, that's not so bad. But if you're like 1,500 miles away and you have a major breakdown, you're stuck. You watched your video I did 8 years ago. Yeah, that's my old channel. You must be thinking of talking about. But I like traveling out there, but it's just the rates coming out of Arizona were never that great that I could see. And that was at Landstar. And then at Snyder, a friend of mine that runs out there quite a bit, he's got extra eyes on the load board to help him book a load coming back. And I think that's the trick. The spot market, I haven't gone out there yet. Perhaps maybe in the wintertime I might go out there once because Jeff got us a New Mexico permit. The fuel's also a lot higher out there. If you're a Snyder guy, you're getting an extra 10 cents off your regular discount, 10 cents more off your regular discount when you're in Arizona, California, Utah, Nevada. Gear Grabber says 3,100 for 476 miles last week. Short game ain't bad. There it is right there. And what was that about? What, $200 in fuel there? Gear Grabber? That's where the true savings are. You could have the worst fuel mileage truck ever, and you'll make a lot more money on the short haul game. Harold's got it right, man. Harold says I'm the mindset that the money is in the short game, but I love trucking and view it as paid tourism to take a long run sometimes. And I love going out to the desert, man. If you haven't done it, one of these nights when you're doing Arizona, like if you're out there in the middle of nowhere, like New Mexico, Arizona, on a clear night, find one of them pull-off truck rest areas where there's no lighting. You see them a lot in Wyoming, and just look up, man. That's the amount of stars you can see is amazing. Soiler, come drive Oahu. I'd love to. You had a Volvo, yes. Next gen, I've driven 2 Volvos in my career. You probably saw the video where I was backing up like a moron there in Salt Lake City, Utah. I used to go to Salt Lake City all the time. Air Vaquero says you could check out the new Phoenix OC. Yeah, I've heard it's pretty nice. They closed the one in Ontario and opened that one up. Yeah, big road. You got to fly out if you're that far away. That's a lot of money. HT Logistics has been on vacation. Don't know how much. Don't know much out of the Midwest. Big Rich, I found that the revenue is the same on short versus longer haul, but you're spending more on fuel and maintenance. I try not to move more than 600 miles. There you go, Big Rich. Don't get bit by a scorpion. Dennis Smith, here's a funny story about that. I lived in Arizona for close to 5 years, and not once did I ever see a scorpion. Then a friend of mine went out to Arizona for the first time ever, when we were both at Transland, and his first trip, at the first rest area he stopped at, he almost stepped on a scorpion. My son was in the video. Yep. Yeah, he ain't that little anymore. Make sure your trailer's Cali compliant if you run out there. I hear you. Harold says the Phoenix OC is identical to Edwardsville, but no fuel. Oh, okay. Did GF get a FML? Now, Dave, what I remember about Hawaii was, like, in the fields of grass, there was like this special plant. It almost acted like like those Venus flytraps. You touch them and they would close up. That's what I remember most about Hawaii. And Hawaii had cockroaches this size, and they flew out of trees. That's what I remember about Hawaii. I don't have any plans of going to California to go grabber. And if I do, I will make sure that we're good. All true. Very good. No snakes in Hawaii? I didn't know that. Now Florida, they've had a bad problem of people releasing boas and pet snakes out in the wild that they're now what they call an invasive species, and they have a huge problem with them. So it's like being in the jungle, I guess, over there.
They found some kind of super snake that had like DNA from 2 different kinds of boas that don't usually.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So good old Florida making super boas. Didn't they make a movie about that? Anaconda. 0 snakes in Hawaii, big time illegal. Oh, okay. Man, when I was a kid, I was scared to death of cockroaches because of how big they were in Hawaii. But I think it'd be cool to truck in Hawaii for a minute. Now, Dave, if you ever get homesick for Hawaii, then Branson's the place to move to because it's all touristy. So if you're sick of tourists, don't move to Branson. The boas have started to move up into Georgia. Wow. The roaches fly. We call them palmetto bugs. Yeah, because they fall out of the palm trees, right? Burger. Okay, we're not going to talk about snakes anymore, Burger. Big Rig CEO is hoping on a big Alaska run once in my career. I don't think I've ever seen an Alaska run in Schneider. And I've only seen it a couple of times in the spot market. And you see it all the time. There's a steady load that comes out of Houston and a steady load that comes out of Arizona that goes to Alaska in the Landstar world. No, you don't have to leave. We're done. We're done, Burger. We're done with the snake stuff. See, Steve, you need to move to Hawaii. Snakes are illegal there. It's all intermodal trucking on Oahu. I bet. Let's talk sharks. Adam Gallagher, what's up? So yeah, if like Big Rich said, 3 states are already declaring state of emergency ahead of this storm. And if you see a ridiculous rate going to North or South Carolina, be aware that you might be going into some stuff. Yeah. Benjamin says he was thinking about Alaska run too. I think the next June would be good. Just say I did it in vacation a week. James and I have, Big Rick CEO and I, we've talked about the Alaska stuff. You got it. I did a video about Alaska runs because Asian My Show, when he was at Landstar, he was considering doing an Alaska run. He posted what the rate was. And I was like, that's kind of low. And so when I did all the math and figured it all out, he was like, oh. So, when I think what it came down to was that Landstar was going to pay like 87 cents a mile if you counted all the miles, including your deadhead and estimated your fuel and all that stuff, which, ain't bad. So you go for the experience. I talked to a couple of Landstar drivers that did that run. And it's a cool experience. I think as a matter of fact, my mom and my sister just got back from an Alaskan cruise tonight back home, and I would love to visit, in the summertime, just to kind of see what's going on up there. I hear you, Burger. I'd love to run the Dalton one time. Just say I did it. No, I'm still here, TJ. Lots of military loads going to Alaska. Dave says no mileage, straight low pay in Hawaii and salary. Yeah, that's the only way to do it, right? Alaska is more for the experience. You're not going to make much, likely a loss or run off at the end. I agree, Adam. But you still negotiate as much as you can, and it's rough on the truck, man. I wouldn't do it in my truck. Now, if someone wanted to pay me a mileage rate and to drive their truck, I would do it. I would do it tomorrow. But I don't think I'm brave enough to do it in my own truck. You got the cat. My sister used to live in Alaska as well. Big Rick CEO, maybe I will catch another rattlesnake on the Arizona run. James, you need to tell that story on YouTube. And you got to tell it just the way you told it to me. That would make a killer story for your YouTube channel. TJ says, great place to visit is Ketchikan. Am I saying that right? Ketchikan, Alaska, just off the coast below Juneau. Can you go empty from Alaska into Canada and pick up a load legally? Zane, I don't know about that. That's the thing. I think you got to be bonded for Canada, because you got to go through Canada to get to Alaska. All right, cool, James, cool. Good deal. Todd Blackburn, what's up?
Sorry.
Mileage works great with the direct shipper because there's usually stop pay involved and detention is automatic after 1 hour unless it's driver unknown. Right. Roads aren't any worse than Shreveport. I believe that. I believe that. Benjamin says I've had the Soul Clunker in every state but Hawaii and Alaska, so why not check Alaska off? Woody has done videos on several his trips up there. He said it was not bad. Cheap load. Out was the big issue. Yeah, because you're pretty much probably going to deadhead from Fairbanks to at least Seattle to get a load going somewhere else. I heard you only need an escort and one are the same thing. An escort, that's a hell of an escort for 2,000 some odd miles. Provost Motorsports, what's up? On my run, 900 a week, just stop pay alone. Wow. I've been on. Jonathan Willer says I've been on dirt gravel roads that are better than Shreveport. Okay. If you guys go to my old channel, I did a run to Montana a few years ago. It was a multi-stop fireworks run. And it was like 6 stops, and US 10 in Montana is a gravel road. And I was delivering to farms that were completely off the grid, like completely, like they had their own wind, solar, water collection, everything. And there's some video of that. So if you go to my old channel, just type in Snorlord's old channel. Great name, right? And you'll see that video. Beautiful up there. If you haven't been to Montana, it's beautiful up there. And I went up there in like June, I believe it was. It had to have been before the 4th of July because, it was fireworks season. I used to haul a lot of hazmat and fireworks as a company driver. They're driver and load and pallet jack. It's easy once you get used to it. I hear you, TJ. There was a load I used to do for Landstar out to Odessa, Texas, which that was a run that I like doing. Now the rates coming out of Odessa really aren't that awesome, but I found an agent that had plastic bottles coming back from Big Springs, going back to Oklahoma City, and then the freight that I took out to Odessa came out of Oklahoma City, and it was a tailgate load. You pretty much hopped in the trailer, they handed you a pallet jack, and you brought it to the end of the trailer and got paid for it. So easy peasy, right? Now I've been avoiding, like C.H. Robinson has a lot of loads that say driver work, and because of my ankle, I'm leery because there was one load I did at Landstar that was barrels, and that was fun because you're basically rolling them down the end of the trailer, empty barrels. And then there was a loaded barrel load I did where they gave me like this dolly to move the barrels. That was a little bit of work. And then I've unloaded whole trailers of tires. And the last one I did was actually military aircraft tires that I picked up out of what's that base up there off of 70? Whiteman Air Force Base. And unloaded those in Tulsa. So that'll give you a good workout, but I'd have to be careful with my ankle to do something like that. Tire loads are definitely workouts. Best way to do tire loads is drop and hook. I used to do tire loads all the time for Landstar and Schneider. And I got to the point where I avoided the ones at Schneider because has any of you ever delivered tires to Illinois? What's the name of the town I'm thinking of? DeKalb, Illinois. There is a lady in there that works in there, and she hates everything. everything. Zane, you got routed on US 10 going up to Canada. Was it gravel? I've done it to PA, never any empties there. Yeah, live loading a trailer full of tires takes a while too, if they're not palletized. Benjamin. Or Screaming Dude. But we're almost to an hour. We'll end this at an hour. Harold sent me a text of his painted brand new steer tires. Yeah, let's show them off. If you guys can see that. Man, that dude's got a lot of spare time, right? A lot of spare time and patience. You got them colored. Oh, okay. Look, you had them colored lug nut covers, but no. It's just the blue of your shirt. Hey, look. You can see Harold's reflection. Right? He is, man. When he comes up for the Joplin truck show, I'll have him paint my tires. Of course, you know, it's not as cool to paint Goodyear steers, right? Although, isn't that what NASCAR uses, is Goodyear? So maybe it would be cool. Anyways, anything else you guys want to talk about? Mention? Holler? If not, we'll end this live feed. Have them come to Keystone and paint your house. We need our garage painted. I'm trying to get Roscoe to come by and help with some gravel, and then also get Harold here to help paint the garage, put these guys to work. Jeff's been trying to do that. He can't get any of us up to Michigan to help him out. Speaking of NASCAR, Brickyard got postponed today. Jonathan Wheeler, yeah, that Indiana just got drenched. It was the remnants of Gordon. And right now, the last time I looked at the radar, the entire state of Pennsylvania was like yellow with rain. I mean, like, it's a huge rain system that went across 70 and 76 there, and 80 and 90, 94. I mean, it was like huge. So the race, the Brickyard, of course, was in Indianapolis, and it was like, yeah, ain't happening. I believe it, Burger. Is it raining now? Let's look at the radar.
I'm almost done.
Firebird says it's been raining in Ohio for 2 days. Yep. Let's see here. What's that? Oh, my app locked up. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I know, I'm so exciting, right? Light Bright. Gotta run, be safe. May the Lord bless each one of you. Thank you, Light Bright. Appreciate that. Thanks for stopping in. Road Racer says all day. Burger, did you get the... Harold, yep. Burger, the last text I got from you was yesterday. You got the same issue I got going on your light. See if I can't open this weather app yet. There it goes.
Okay, Rowan, finish with
Yeah, this is what it looks like.
finish with your project.
Here, let's try this here. We gotta. There's a cool app called Dimly. What that does is it takes the blue light out.
Where's your brother anyway?
So if you want to show a screenshot of something without the glare, that's how well it works. I don't know if you guys can see where that's at. That's that rain system going up to the northeast. Yeah, Dimly, it's a good app. But no, Steve, I haven't got that text you sent me. No. Scott, you've been in all weekend. Yeah, I hear you, man. It's it's a thing. We'll send it again, Burger. I'm not on the phone. I just have it on silent. Do you think that system will feed into the next one hitting Wednesday or Thursday? I don't know, man. It's about out of here. You know, there's no telling, man. I'm not a weatherman. All I know is that we're going to see some major storms coming up in the next few weeks. So, waiting on that text, Burger. Oh, and also, guys, when I was doing my live feed a couple of days ago, Friday, we were talking about all the different topics. If I went back and watched that, and if I missed your comment, I apologize. I'm not used to my live feed being that heavy populated, especially in the comment section. If you notice that we've slowed down here quite a bit, and that's fine. I know I'm not the most exciting person to watch. And,
Boy, that opening paragraph is really something to read on.
yeah.
Our teacher spent like 10 minutes describing scenes like that. Like,
It's possible, Benjamin Duke.
Right after lunch. It was terrible. And then Isaiah was looking up pictures of it, and he sits right next to me. So I glanced over, and he was like, "Oh, these terrible pictures." Like, oh God, Isaiah, what are you doing?
League of Chance, can you unblock Ryan's the Thorn? Someone blocked him about a month ago. He's not a troublemaker. Okay, Burger, after I'm done with this live feed, I'll do that. So
Sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm so
right. I hear you, Scott.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely got my attention.
Yeah, I don't see how the big channels do it, Screaming Demon. I mean, you know. Snarler, best truck stop restaurant. Go. Oh man. Probably one of the top ones, and Big Rig CO will agree with me. He's probably yelling this at the screen right now. Is Pinecone? They're in where's that? Is that Minnesota or Wisconsin? James, if you're watching. That's a good one. I like Nick's Barbecue, which technically isn't a truck stop restaurant, but it's got truck parking. That's in Carlisle, Arkansas, or Carthage. It's in Arkansas off I-40. The Petro in Kingdom City used to be really good, but the last 3 times I've eaten in there, it was not good. One time I went in there and they were having prime rib, and they had a spread that was like almost like a casino. And whatever manager that was is no longer there. Fiber says the storms are coming, the cold front, very windy in Asheboro. Our temperature is like very fall-like right now today. I've been enjoying it. Madison, Wisconsin. There you go. Thank you, Harold. Boise, stop outside. Boise, Idaho is cool. Still independently owned. Cool. Steakhouse on I-20 East Texas. Benjamin Duke. Trying to think of some others. The restaurant that used to be at Willie Nelson's truck stop, that was good, but Petro's kind of taken that over. I think that's all I can think of right now. Burger says there's an old diner and a truck stop in Connecticut, I believe. Can't remember the name of it. I've probably been there if it's in Connecticut. Burger. I used to be in Connecticut all the time. Another one is Moapa Travel Center, 35 miles north of Vegas. You know, I need to go to Nevada sometime. I have not been to Nevada. Nevada is the only state besides Alaska and Hawaii that I haven't trucked in. And Nevada and Alaska are the only 2 states I have never been in. Jason Perry says there's a steakhouse on I-29 in Missouri just before you hit. That's Iowa. That's great. Exit 110. I don't know. I used to go up and down 29 all the time. T.A. Morris, Illinois, in the restaurant at T.A. Oh, yeah. The T.A. in Morris, Illinois is really good. They got excellent stuff that I don't eat anymore, like desserts. Double Nickel I-55, exit 19, Haiti, Missouri, ribs. I've heard about that place, Benjamin Duke. Will Burke says he likes Baker City, Oregon. It's been many years since I've been to Oregon. Okay, TJ. Just past Scales, little fuel stop, crim shop there too. Cool. Tell you what, some of the worst ones is the Iron Skillet in Oklahoma City. I watched fist fights break out there. Or no, that was Effingham. I witnessed that. But Oklahoma City is just bad. Just bad. Yeah. Baker Truck Corral in Baker City is food. Parking lot sucks, though. Is good food. Yeah, you notice the best restaurants have the worst parking lots. But now, if you guys want a health update, I've been pretty good about staying low carb. I'm not going to use the term keto because I'm not keto, but I've been doing really good with that.
You messed up really good biscuits at dinner.
Yeah, my wife made biscuits and gravy for dinner. Still did the gravy, but I used the big portobello mushrooms. I'm holding my hands out, like see. and instead of biscuits, and that was pretty good. Um, I've been using an app called MyFitnessPal, and to count my calories, mainly just to kind of keep track of what I'm taking in. I'm not limiting myself, but I'm not like, sometimes you don't know how much you're eating until you track it, and you're like, dang, kind of like your fuel mileage. You know how bad your fuel mileage is till you actually track it. So, anyone ever see those idle air things anymore, John Adams? No, they're all about run down. I think the last functioning ones I saw was the TA there in Jackson, Georgia. Their exit, was it 200, 203, something like that, on I 75, 85. Idle Air still in Breezewood. Yeah, I did see that burger. You're right. Fryestown, PA. Yeah, they still have it. I used to stop in there all the time back in my Pennsylvania days, which Burger doesn't believe. All right, Firebird, take it easy. A lot of South Carolina off I-95, says Benjamin. Orland, California pilot is nice. All you West Coast guys are speaking gibberish to me. As like I said, I've only been out to California once in my trucking career, and that was a load to Ontario and then straight out of there at the same customer. I was in and I was out like that. Nice light load too. But all right, guys, we're at an hour and 7 minutes. So we are going to end this live feed. I appreciate everybody coming in. I appreciate all the support you guys have shown me. Thank you for the people that defended me in a certain live feed the other night. And, it's a shame that has to happen, I guess. But you can channel James Best. All right, guys. So thanks for watching. Take it easy. And you guys be safe out there. My cat says good night. And so see you.